Hey everyone, this is Richard, founder of Short Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost, and right here I'm with my man, the guy who taught me how to kiteboard. I still have a long way to go, but if you ever want to learn, this guy Eric, and how do you pronounce your last name?
Barajos.
Barajos is the man. In the meantime, we also found out that he's an Airbnb host. He just got started. We're going to walk through his Airbnb. We're going to talk about the deal that he swung with his landlady and how he's doing rental arbitrage and she's aware of it. We're going to take a look at his place. We're going to talk about some of his early stage findings. This is his first year doing Airbnb. And we're going to talk about how he renovated the place relatively inexpensively and is having a lot of success attracting kiteboarders and like the right people for him. And it's just like working, and he's trying to grow his real estate business and empire, and we may co-invest on something we're talking about. So it's super exciting. But in the meantime, Eric, you have anything you want to say as an introduction, or should we just go on in?
Oh yeah, just we're here in the Outer Banks. I'm going to take you guys inside, kind of give you some tips of stuff that I did to quickly turn a unused space into a very useful space for a reasonable price. So a lot of people have been enjoying that.
For those of you that don't know what rental arbitrage is, it's a really popular way for people to get started on Airbnb that can't afford purchasing a home. What they want to do is rent a home and then either sublease it or sublease portions of it. And that's really cool if you do it the right way. Okay, so Eric, so you rented this whole house, and this space here that we're entering was what?
So this space before I got here, it was just completely in ruins. This is actually the original kind of what the whole place looked like. So you can see there's like plenty of holes in the walls. It's just that old kind of house where they really weren't even using drywall or anything like that. So originally this front part was a big mess, so we decided not to do anything with it. We kind of turned it into a gear storage, just kind of appealing to kiteboarders and windsurfers. That's why we have the rack right here. Decided to put this shelf in just to kind of make it look nicer. This part needed a lot more work than the part we're going into.
It was like broken windows, rain damage, water damage, the floors were terrible. Everything about it was terrible. It was like an eyesore. But he saw opportunity, and kudos to him for being entrepreneurial and innovative and creative and seeing an opportunity. And so he approached his landlord in full disclosure and said, hey, if I fix this place up, if I put my time and energy and money into fixing this place up, will you allow me to rent it out and keep the income? And his landlady kind of said, joking, like, ha ha ha, yeah, no one will ever want to do that, because it was too much work. She didn't have that creativity, she didn't have the energy level, and she didn't have the vision. So she just gave it to him. And so he went and he did the work, and he put in his time and labor and fixed it up. And one thing I definitely want to showcase is the bathroom and the wall that you used pallets for, which is super cool. So we'll let a little bit of light in here. And you can see it's just efficient mini kitchen, right? You've got a little refrigerator, a little microwave, toaster oven.
I'm going to tell you a story about these shelves and about this countertop and this shelf as well. So this was a door, a like thick wood door that I actually found when I was throwing garbage away. It was just sitting on the side of the dumpster, this huge, heavy, thick door. And I was like, wow, this is really nice wood. How can I use it? And at that time, we were looking at buying shelves. We were looking at how to fix this countertop. So actually, I came home and I used the front of it, which is the nice part, and I made the shelves using the right corners.
Super creative.
So I made the shelves.
And it looks great.
And I made this countertop. I mean, it's beautiful. So it all worked out that way.
And tell me a little bit about, because a lot of the viewers here are really interested in what we call rental arbitrage. So renting a place and then subletting it out, or renting a portion of it. Like, how did you come up with the idea? How did you pitch your landlady? And
I think here was a unique situation. I pitched it because this space was really unuseful at the moment. The windows were blown out. I had to replace the windows. I mean, it was pretty much deteriorating the value of her house. I live in the other part of the house, which is separate, so she just saw it as waste and she didn't want to spend money. So the way I pitched it was I would put in all the initial money, and with the deal that she would allow me to rent it out.
He was very intelligent about it. He wrote it into his contract, into his lease term, that he's allowed to do that, and that it won't terminate his lease, and that he can renew his lease, and so on. And so he's protected his viable, sustainable business in perpetuity. For as long as he has the lease, he owns the right to like sublease that space out. And that's really cool, because therefore he won't get kicked out. And what he feared was that she would see how successful he was, kick him out and do it for herself. But you also told me when you first approached her, she was like, "Yeah, right. Good
Yeah,
luck. Like,
exactly.
no chance. No one's gonna rent it."
It was horrible. The carpet in here was molded. The subflooring was bad. So we had to buy new carpet. We had to take out the old subflooring. I mean, it was all really bad. So actually, this is another thing that I did too that nobody notices unless I tell you. Check out the ceiling right here. So because this window was blown out from all the rain coming in, these were like falling off only in this section of the ceiling. So what I did was I took them off. I put this wood and I put this nice trim around it just to make it look like it was done on purpose.
Great.
We had an idea of like hanging plants maybe in the corner. Same thing for this wall. As you can see, it's different. So like this whole section of the house was really bad because of all the water that was coming in due to the windows.
The window was broken.
Yeah.
So how much do you think you put into this whole fix
So
up?
it came out, we ended up spending about $1,800 around there. That was the whole,
Great.
with everything. I mean, with appliances, the chairs, then you have
the bed,
yeah, you have the AC unit, that was in the end.
And
so.
will you make that back this year?
Yeah, I definitely, from what Airbnb is showing, I'm going to be able to make that back this year.
And then some, right?
Yeah, a little bit. It's going to help offset a little bit of my rental costs. So
Cool.
I live in a unique place where we pay rent all year long, even though I leave here 4 months out of the year. So I think my landlady also was really understanding about that, this being a seasonal place. Regardless what I'm doing with this front room, she's happy that she's getting her rent.
Yeah, you're a great tenant.
Right.
So show us what you did, which I think is really cool here in the bathroom. What did it look like before?
So the bathroom was in horrible shape before. This whole wall was just like completely like, it looked like somebody had punched just punched into the wall. And I had this idea I'd seen online before. I've always had like use for pallets. So these are all pallets from where I work that I was able to pick up outside. And some being newer, some being older. And what I did was I cut them one by one, just kind of a free-for-all. People asked, but there was no like measurements. This one looked good, and then I had to cut the other ones so they all fit. And I sanded each one of them just so that, when you touch it, it's nice. And I varnished it.
Well, it looks great.
3 coats of varnish.
And for anybody who's been watching my channel, you've seen I did a very similar sort of application on a wall in Jackson Hole. And I'm not sure it looks that much better. And you were also recycling and saving the plants.
Upcycling.
Yeah,
I like to say it's upcycling. I take it and then I just move it.
Well, mine was upcycled too because it came from like the highway partitions or whatever in Wyoming. But
here's a little tip too. I just want to tell people. So these were rusted really bad. And if you don't want to replace them, what you do is you sand them with about a high volume sand, like a really coarse one, so that you can get in there nicely. And then you just make sure not to spray paint the tub itself, and then you spray paint them, and they come out really nice. You can wash them, and the paint
stays black? Do you paint it
black? Yeah,
and
black.
Glossy, or is that satin?
No, it was a satin. Yeah,
okay,
satin.
cool.
So,
well, it looks great.
Yeah,
it looks like brand new. So if it was rusty and deteriorating, now it looks perfect. And so this place is just super comfortable, serves its purpose. And Eric, in your own words, how would you describe like the feedback that you get from guests, and what type of guests are they?
So we've been getting really positive feedback, especially just the price point. So this area, it's really hard for people unless you're renting a big house. Airbnb has not really made it here fully in small units. So we're getting a lot of feedback because there's a lot of people that just want to come down for 3 days, and they're going to spend most of the time at the beach anyway. So they're really happy just with a nice comfy bed. That was really important when my wife and I thought of this. We got a really comfortable bed, really nice coffee machine, just the basic things that when you wake up in the morning, you want to brew some coffee before going to the beach. And then actually that front room that I kind of covered up as a gear room, people love it. Because they're like, hey, I don't have to leave the bikes outside. I don't have to leave the kites in the car. Kiteboarding equipment, surfboards, all that are really expensive. So people feel really comfortable being able to unload their vehicle and have a storage spot. And I feel comfortable because they're not bringing in sandy, dirty items into the house. So It kind of works well together.
So overall, what would you say your experience has been as an Airbnb host, and what sort of occupancy rate are you experiencing? I mean, since I've been here, I've seen same-day turnover almost every single time, but what have you experienced? What are your thoughts? How do you like Airbnb?
I love Airbnb. I think it's a really great thing. I used it for a long time, and being able to become a host myself has been a really great experience, really positive. You get to meet a lot of people along the way. Some people you don't meet at all. But not so much on the people side. I think it's great being able to give a space for someone to share, you know? So when you're kind of designing your Airbnb, you kind of set it to the tone of the people you're expecting to have. Now that doesn't always work, you know? So I'd say maybe out of 15, you'll get 2 people that, you know, this maybe wasn't the space they were looking for, you know? So I'm trying more and more based on what Airbnb gives me as a platform to make sure in my description and in what I'm offering to people that I'm getting the right kind of people.
Perfect. That's a
like
big tip
really
that I
what
give.
I want to do,
Exactly.
You know?
And what sort of occupancy do you think you've had in the prime months here?
So I've been fully occupied. I mean, our prime months here are June, July, August, and I'm turning over every day, June, July, August. So pretty happy.
My tip to you that I've shared with you and other viewers is you're priced too low.
Right.
You should have some occupancy. And
It's definitely
And
an
are you
issue.
charging a cleaning fee?
No, I was not until I taught Richard how to kiteboard recently, and we met, and it's been a really great thing because the cleaning fee was something that I was kind of unsure about, and I'm happy I watched his video and kind of read other feedback, and I've just changed it recently, and we'll see how that goes. So.
It's going to go well because you're going to get paid for your labor.
Right, yeah, so Richard knows I just finished, I was on the water for 3 hours this morning, and I literally have ran over here, you know, make the bed, vacuum, you know, make sure everything's looking nice, fresh towels, and he's right, that time's worth money, you know, so I do recommend to anybody, if you're not doing it, do it.
And so the point of this video is, if you want to do rental arbitrage because you can't go out and buy your place and you want to do that and either offset your cost of living or save, which is what I would encourage you to do for an equity down payment for your like actual business, then do it the right way. Don't try and get creative. Don't try and skirt the issues. Don't tell little white lies. Don't post on Facebook like, what about this idea and what about that idea? Like, if you have to ask about these ideas, it's not good. Like, is there anything that I said to you about Eric's story that doesn't resonate? Do you feel like he cut any corners? Do you think he was dishonest? Do you think, I mean, she could have said no, but then he wouldn't have done it. But to his delight, she said yes, and now he's doing it, and he probably will keep that lease forever because it's such a good deal and he's got a home run on his hands. So if you want to do rental arbitrage, be forthright, find the right partner, i.e. landlord, tell them what you're going to do, write it into the contract, protect yourself, and then do it forever. And I would encourage you, instead of having a better lifestyle, save that money, put it away. That's your nest egg for your down payment on your own equity. Get rid of the landlord, start buying real estate, like the video, and please subscribe.